too.
I hit the record button, Jeff. Should I hit the music?
Music, please.
Music!
Hi, this is Mike Brown, owner of Death Wish Coffee Company. Welcome to Fueled by Deathcast.
I love Jeff, but sweet and high. Whoop, Mr. McCormick, coffee and spice.
Death Wish Coffee presents Fueled by Deathcast, the world's strongest podcast. With your hosts, the incredible Jeff and the amazing D-Man.
Welcome to you, because it's Fueled by Deathcast. I'm excited. D-Man's excited. In fact, I think you're a little too excited today. You're a little yelly. It's okay, though.
I don't like that you just pigeonholed me into being an excited individual.
I don't know. You guys buckle up.
Maybe excited's not the word. Maybe it's aggressive.
Oh, maybe he's aggressive today, everybody. I don't know.
Just because I'm excited doesn't mean I yell.
What's that meme? We got a badass over here, right? No? I'm a living meme now? No, that's Neil deGrasse
I don't know what
Tyson.
that is.
It's okay.
Jesus,
okay.
Jeff.
I'm sorry.
He derailed everything.
I didn't
sorry,
really derail
everybody.
anything. We're
my
just
God.
getting started.
All right, start it over.
This is episode 68 of Fueled by Deathcast for those of you keeping track at home. And as always, I am the incredible Jeff.
Yeah, I'm the amazing D-Man.
Yeah, darn right you are. And we'd love it if you followed us over on social media. We are pretty active on Instagram, our favorite social media platform, but a little bit on Twitter and Facebook too. It's very easy to follow us. I am at Jeff Wish Coffee.
I am at Death Wish Dustin, and you'll find us even more on Instagram once Facebook gets his ass suit off.
Yeah, right? Man, it's troubling times for social media out there, but that's okay. That's okay.
We're ready for it.
We're
We're ready. We're battening down the hatches. Once Facebook is wiped off the planet, we'll be ready to shuck and jive like the rest of the people.
Death book will be announced. Yeah.
Jeff, you weren't supposed to tell people
Oh,
about
I'm sorry.
that yet.
That'll be for the update. If this is your first time tuning into the show, here's the drill. All you got to do is share this show, comment, share it in those comments down there. You can do it once. You can do it 1,000 times during the show, and we're going to pick one lucky winner, and you're going to win this bad boy right here.
And you'll be super lucky. Lucky number 7, actually lucky number 700.
Yeah.
Yeah, these sold out, man.
Uh-huh. We had a couple left behind because if people who aren't familiar with the area that we live near the mothership where Death Wish Coffee started, which is Saratoga Coffee Trader. So we always leave a couple behind for their shelves so locals can buy the mugs as well. And we stole one.
Also, keep in mind, we're always prepared if UPS
breaks one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We understand that we have no control over UPS, USPS, or all the other carriers, FedEx, but we do have control over our products. So we always leave some behind in case those guys really fuck up your shipping.
Exactly.
And you know what? We're there for you. That's why we always have some left behind. And here's one of them.
Yeah,
right here
number
for you.
700, our St. Patrick's Day mug that we did in collaboration with the Dropkick Murphys. You cannot find this mug anywhere anymore, except for right here on this show. Once again, share this feed, comment, share it in those comments, and we're going to pick one lucky winner. We're going to sign the bottom, send it right out to you. It's that cool of a thing. And that happens every show, so tune in every week for mug releases.
Ooh, what do you think next week's will be?
I don't know.
Probably that nifty-ass NASA mug, huh?
I'm really excited about this NASA mug. We don't sell the NASA mugs. I got this right from one of the facilities there, but Deneen makes them, yes.
Did NASA have that made? Why?
Yeah, NASA had those made. But
so NASA reached out to Deneen.
Yeah.
And they were like, we need a coffee mug.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's pretty neat.
That's cool.
That's my new favorite mug of the moment. I've been digging it. But we got to start this show up by thanking our good friend, Brock Powell.
Rockbox.com!
See, he's yelly.
Not an excited yell. We already established that.
We love Brock. He's the voice actor behind all the voices on this show and 1,000 voices out there in the world. Head on over to his website, see what he's up to. He's into some cartoon voices now. He's going to have some stuff in some upcoming video games. He's going to be blowing up this year, and we love the hell out of that guy.
Hey, I want to do a quick shout out to Rob Fenn.
Shout out to Rob Fenn.
Actually, I bought this with my hard-earned money. The new cut and scratch hoodie.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know who Rob Fenn is, he's a famous photographer. He does photography for Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
And many other people. But he also has a vinyl / barbershop / coffee shop. And out of that coffee shop, he only sells Death Wish coffee.
Darn right.
And that's why I'm a big supporter of him, because he's a big supporter of us, and we love all the work that he does. And yeah, I didn't even order this shirt. It came in the package.
That's pretty
How cool is
awesome.
that earns you a shout out, Mr. Fenn.
Yeah. And if you want to go back, one of our early episodes, the number escapes me at the moment, but I think it's in the early 10s there.
Pretty early on.
Yeah.
You know, it's somebody that we've worked with for a long time for a lot of different things. So he was, when we put together the podcast, even before the podcast was a thing, Rob Fenn was on the list of people we were going to have on right away.
Yeah, so you guys can go back and listen to that episode. It was a really, really cool thing to talk to Rob. Also, we got to thank the company Black Magic Design. They create all the technology that we got that makes this show look as good as it sounds. And I just can't say enough good things about them. That's why we want to make sure to shout them out every show. Because if you're looking to do really professional-looking video, television-type stuff on a budget and also with absolutely no knowledge, Black Magic Design is what you want to use for sure. Yeah, love those guys.
Secret code unlocked. Discount of death.
This week, it's so great. We have another employee on.
Yes.
So that means 15% off of everything you order on deathwishcoffee.com if you type in the code Cool Mike. Jeff, spell it. It's one word.
COOLMIKE, all one word.
And that will nail you 15% off of all the shit. All of it. Shirts, coffee,
Whatever's on the website,
mugs,
you get 15% off.
whatever
of
the
it.
hell we have going on. Jeff, why is it Cool Mike?
It is Cool Mike because he's cool. He's the cool Mike of the office.
Ooh, easy there, buddy.
Hopefully Mike Brown didn't hear
I
that.
hope you have an email waiting for you already. By the way, that code ends April 4th on Wednesday, so if you use it after that, it won't work.
Yeah, but we got to talk to a customer service extraordinaire of our little clan over here, Mike Mullin. And there he is.
And you can say extraordinary because this guy actually has experience doing what he's doing here at Death Wish.
Which is very rare if you've listened to our employee series before. But we have a great time talking with Mike on this upcoming episode
Look how
this
cool
week.
he is.
I
He's
know.
like, I'm a cool dude hanging out by
Yeah,
his
that's
truck.
why it's Cool Mike. But yeah, he had some experience in customer service before joining Death Wish, and we talk about that. We talk about what it's like working here. We talk about what he does outside of work. He's so interesting. I didn't know he was a musician. I found that out on the show. We talk about that. We talk about his love of video games, his love of hip-hop. Shout out to Mr. Throwback Thursday. And all sorts of other fun that we have. It was an absolute joy to talk with Mike this week. And I actually got a sneak peek of tomorrow's brand new episode for you guys right here.
The Fueled by Death guest.
But yeah, I mean, customer service in itself is kind of samey all across the board. It's a lot about like how you talk to people, and empathy is a big part of it. Like understanding, why people are frustrated, or figuring out the best way to make it happen for whoever you're talking to at that time.
So how long did you work for this company before working for us?
2.5 years.
Wow, so you did a lot of customer service.
Right, yeah. And before that, I was kind of even in customer service still, retail at Trader Joe's, and then before that, I was a barista, so it kind of all comes back around to
he's a bona fide
to coffee.
expert. I bet you think you're better than us.
just a little bit.
Oh, man. So I got to ask this question then. Even though you're from the area, where and when did you hear about Death Wish Coffee?
Yeah, so it was actually when I was working in coffee shops and stuff like that. Death Wish was kind of getting tossed around. I had been to Saratoga Coffee Traders a couple times. I'm from Troy, so I didn't make it out to Saratoga a whole lot. But when I did, we would have to find good coffee. Especially, I've been working in the industry since I was 16, so I've kind of always been a little bit of a coffee snob, or at least I wouldn't seek out like Dunkin' Donuts as my first choice, and I would kind of be like, okay, what's available? Is there something that's like a little bit
You don't like
on the
to
upper level?
You don't like to drink shit.
Right? Yeah.
Or
If
at least was
I don't have
just
to.
chilled out to you. I mean, I'm kind of the same way with restaurants. Like, I'm not just going to go into a place that I'm not from. even if it's just in my backyard, and I'm not just going to go and sit down at McDonald's or an Applebee's. I'm going to try and look for a restaurant that happens to be around there because I enjoy a good meal. And it's the same thing that you're saying with coffee. It's like you're not going to go into just a Starbucks or a Dunkin' Donuts just because it's there. You're going to kind of try to seek out that coffee shop.
Right, yeah, exactly. And I'm always up for trying new things and, seeing what is available. So, while Starbucks is okay in that I know what I'm going to get every time I go there pretty much, the same can't be really said for Dunkin'. I don't know. I'm not trying to trash anything, but, there's a real discrepancy between orders, like especially because with the whole Northeastern vernacular of like what light and sweet means, and things like that. But since then, I only drink my coffee black nowadays anyway, so it makes it much easier. But it also makes it a lot harder to bear other coffees that aren't maybe up to standard.
Yeah.
Science!
All right, D-Man. So this week, we haven't been to space in a little bit, so we're going back to space, and this is exciting. Literally...
Is it, Jeff?
It is. It is. Literally, the field of planet hunters is a thing in today's day and age.
Okay, my mind goes crazy with this right off the bat. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. Somebody knows our planet's dying, and now we finally put in a coalition of people looking for a new home, kind of thing.
That's not exactly that far off, but I mean, there's a couple reasons why we're so invested in planet hunting now. We know so little about our universe and our own solar system. In fact, just recently we did a science segment on the interior of Jupiter, and it took us 400 years just to figure that out.
Yeah.
So we're learning new stuff about the universe all the time, and the more we learn about planets that we can observe, the better understanding we have about our own planet. True, we are looking for other planets that fall in the same zone as ours, and we're also looking for signs of life out there as well. So, I mean, there's lots of different reasons to do this, but now we're starting to get a lot more initiative towards looking for these other worlds and starting to figure out what really makes them, tick, which is exciting. This new field of astronomy has literally been gaining incredible results, and we've talked about them a bunch. In fact, one of them being from the NASA mission called Kepler, which is the Kepler telescope out there, and it found the TRAPPIST-1 system with all those exoplanets that some of them are in the Goldilocks zone, and now it's been looking at it and finding that they have water composition and what their atmosphere is composed of. So we're really gaining all this knowledge, and that's been out there for a while. The thing about the Kepler telescope, though, is in a few months' time, its mission will be over. It is going to run out of fuel, and it is 94 million miles away from the Earth, so there's no way we're going to be able to refuel that. So it's just going to kind of float into space. So we're getting as much of the information as we possibly can out of Kepler before its mission is over. And I actually have a fun little video here that explains a little bit of Kepler's mission straight from NASA.
The most comprehensive data set from NASA's Kepler mission will help researchers discover how many Earth-sized planets are in our galaxy. Using the first 4 years of Kepler observations in the constellation of Cygnus, the Planet Candidate Catalog contains the best characterized data yet. The data contains 219 new planet candidates. 10 of these are less than twice the size of the Earth and orbit in their stars' habitable zones. The habitable zone is a range of distance from a star where liquid water could pool on the surface of a rocky planet. The data will be used by scientists to help determine the frequency and variety of planets in the galaxy. A recent discovery using Kepler data showed that small planets come in two distinct size classes: the Earth and super-Earth size class, and the slightly larger mini-Neptune size class. The result shows that nature commonly makes rocky planets up to about 75% bigger than Earth. Kepler has identified more than 4,000 planet candidates beyond the solar system, and 2,335 of which have been confirmed as planets. Kepler's search for planets continues as part of an ongoing study of different regions of space. Future studies could reveal a vast range of planet demographics and help enable the search for life.
So that's a little bit of a nutshell of what Kepler's been doing out there and what we've been able to, glean from the information that Kepler has given us, which is incredible. But this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the field of astronomy now known as planet hunting, which is so, so incredible. In 2028, the European Space Agency is primed to launch its Ariel mission, the name Ariel. And that's going to be a telescope to monitor the universe and work out the conditions for planet formation and the emergence of life. So this telescope is really going to be about, how do planets form? Why do planets form? Really kind of peeling the layers back of these celestial bodies that we keep finding. The Ariel telescope will be 1 meter wide and will look at over 1,000 planets in its 4-year mission in both visible and infrared light. So it's a highly specialized spacecraft specifically designed for this one thing, which is incredible.
So this is the Planet Hunter itself.
This is one of them. Yes,
Yeah.
This is it knows where it's going to look, and it knows that there are planets out in these things, but we know absolutely nothing about these planets. So we're going to get all the data we possibly can in these 4 years after this is launched in 2028. It's going to focus on warm and hot planets like super Earths and gas giants that are in tight orbits. These are known as hot Jupiters. I think that's hilarious. And while it will look at some planets' inhabitable zones, this one doesn't look like it's going to be studying anything that's going to be Earth-like. The Professor Giovanna Tonetti from the University College of London, who's the principal investigator on this mission, said Ariel will enable us to answer questions about how the chemistry of a planet links to the environment in which it forms and how its birth and evolution are affected by its parent star. That's one thing we have absolutely no idea about, because you look at, I'll use TRAPPIST as an example. Again, you look at our solar system, our sun is X amount, this big, and all the planets that are around it are however big they are, You look at TRAPPIST, the sun is many more times bigger than our sun, yet it has planets that are similar to our planets. So what constitutes...
So there's no relativity there.
There has to be. We just don't know what it is.
Huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those equations, that math is out there. There is something we're gonna go, aha, that's why these things
space divided by planet size,
right, something
times by
like
the
that.
sun. Yeah,
Exactly. So that's what this mission's all about, which is really, really cool. And this mission is going to join a growing fleet of planet hunters that are going to be released very
It sounds
very
like
soon.
somebody hit the panic button, dude. This doesn't feel good to me.
I don't think it's a panic button. I think it's more of the point where people, especially scientists in this community, in NASA and European Space Agency, they've been talking about this since the 70s. Carl Sagan was a proponent of this, that we need to be getting funding to do this. Funding takes time. Getting people to understand it takes time. If you really want to think about it, they were starting back then. They were starting back in the 60s and 70s being like, we need to look into this kind of stuff. And it's only now that we're able to get the technology, build the technology, and put it on a rocket and send it into space.
Well, hopefully we're not too late, everybody.
I think so. I don't think we are. So next month, of this year, NASA's newest planet hunter will launch the Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite. That's called TESS. The European Space Agency actually has a couple missions in the works. One of them, the Characterizing Exoplanet Satellite, or CHEOPS. That's going to launch late 2018. And then the Planetary Transit and Oscillations of Stars, or PLATO, that's going to launch in 2026, and that's going to be looking specifically for planets like Earth.
Wow.
Yeah. According to astronomer Dr. Jill Tarter, we are likely to find aliens by the year 2100. And
That's throwing a dart in a dartboard.
I mean, it is, but it isn't. If you guys want to go back a couple episodes, we talked to astrophysicist Dr. Michio Kaku, and he said the exact same thing. He said that he thinks that we're going to find a twin of our planet within the next couple of years, and we're going to find intelligent life before 2100.
I don't think it didn't really sound like that's a great thing either.
Well, it depends on what we find.
Yeah.
She made this claim during a talk titled A Cosmic Perspective Searching for Aliens and Finding Ourselves at Florida Tech recently.
It's a good title, by the way.
She's planning on giving 75 more of these talks this year all around the nation and the world to raise funds to upgrade the Alien Telescope Array. And this is the Alien Telescope Array. She went on to say, I think that in this century we are going to be finding life beyond Earth. We can discover it. We can find biomarkers on planets or moons of our solar system. We can find artifacts in the solar system as we explore. We can look for more remote biosignatures in the atmospheres of distant exoplanets, or perhaps we can detect the work product of technological civilizations, signatures. Now, Dr. Tarter is the Bernard M. Oliver Chair at the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, SETI, and the SETI Institute, and has spent a good chunk of her career literally looking for this stuff. We've talked about this movie before on this podcast, Contact, with Jodie Foster. Jodie Foster was based on this person.
Oh, cool.
Dr. Tarter is the bassist of Jodie Foster's character in Contact, which is pretty.
So her dad's an alien?
Yes, her dad is an alien. SETI has been literally scanning the skies for many, many years. It ran out of funding in 1993 and has been private funded ever since. So her doing these talks to raise funds is very much needed, and getting the upgrades will be very helpful. This is not the only project that the Institute is cooking up either. They hope to launch, and you'll love this, the Laser SETI project, which will be scanning the sky looking for flashes of light from potential laser-based communication approaches. She goes on to say we can build...
So wait, if there's an alien society out there shooting out information, one of those ways might be lasers.
Right.
And this thing is...
going to be looking for specifically for lasers coming from the universe.
Wow,
somewhere.
that's crazy.
She goes on to say we can build a series of 96 cameras spread around 12 sites around the globe, working in the optical and infrared. We will literally be able to look up at all of the sky all of the time to see if there are any bright flashes, to see if any other phenomenon like fast radio bursts have an optical component. I'm really excited about it. And what's awesome about that, again, going back to Dr. Michio Kaku, he talked about that. He said aliens could be trying, or intelligent life in the universe could be trying to contact us now, and we're too stupid to even understand it because they're using laser technology, or the laser superhighway that he was talking about. They could be traveling on lasers, and we could be literally sitting on the highway and never know it.
Or it's technology that we haven't discovered yet, like lasers. Think about lasers themselves. What did we know about lasers in 1920?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely nothing.
Science fiction serials, pew pew.
Yeah.
Like that was it. Yeah.
Maybe not even that.
Yeah.
There's could be a different type of technology that we have no idea even exists, and they could be trying to communicate to us through this technology, and we have no way to receive it or respond to it.
Yeah.
He even talked about superhighways running by our solar system,
Yeah.
and that could be a potential that's already happening, that there's intelligent alien life forms just kind of passing through, and there's no way we would even know about it because we're just not there yet to understand what's going on.
And I think that's what's really cool about these Planet Hunter missions and the more upgrades to the SETI Institute, because we're finally at a point where we really want to find this information, and we don't want to just use the technology that happened to be out in the universe at this point. Sometimes we use the Hubble telescope and we kind of refine it and point it at a different area and try to use its infrared cameras, or we were using the Voyager spacecrafts as they were going through the solar system, but they weren't created specifically for these purposes. Now we're putting up technology that's specifically created to study these types of things, and I think we're going to find some really interesting data.
Well, if I remember from talking to Michio Kaku, maybe we shouldn't be doing this.
Well, we're not trying to contact anybody. We're just trying to figure out if anybody's, first of all, trying to contact us, but we're also trying to figure out what makes the universe tick. And I think that is some interesting information to understand.
I guess we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll be alive for this, Jeff.
Maybe we will.
We'll drink enough coffee, see if we can make it happen.
Yeah, I'm in.
What fuels you?
Okay, so this week we got to talk to another one of our awesome employees here, Mr. Mike Mullin, and it was actually a treat because he's been here for a very short amount of time, just over 6 months he's been working here, but he's already become an integral part of of our little band of delinquents, I guess I could say. We're a bunch of delinquents, right?
I know I got that covered.
Yeah, right? But one thing we talked about, obviously, was what fuels him to keep going, because he worked in customer service even before starting at Death Wish Coffee, and now he's working in it again. And he said specifically about working at this job, he feels that what he does has meaning and purpose, because he believes in the brand, he believes in the product that we're putting out.
And he can see results in the hard work that he puts in.
Right.
I mean, you know, if your motivation is your paycheck, you're going to run out of motivation very, very quickly. Pretty soon you're going to get to that point where it's like, I don't care what I'm getting paid. I feel like I'm just beating my head against a wall. Because that's a day in, day out doing the same thing and not really seeing any clicks or movements around. And the company that you're working for can get really frustrating. And that goes with life too, where you're just doing the same thing every day and you're not experiencing any changes or upgrades. And, you know, it's really tough to stay motivated when life is like that. So you really have to assess your situation and find out what you'd like to see happen and what are the necessary steps to make that happen. And then you'll start finding purpose in life, and then things will start actually be fun again.
Yeah. And, you know, and like you were saying, like, it doesn't have to necessarily be in your 9 to 5. It's great if it can be, but anything you do, if you can find meaning and purpose in it, it makes all of life more fulfilling, more enriched. And I always think of, and we talk about this a lot because this is of a lot of our past, I always think about music. And you listen to any of your musical idols, any of the rock stars out there that have made it and super huge, super famous. You don't chase fame. You don't chase, you know, the paycheck. Oh, I want to be rich and famous as a musician. Like, it won't work for you. These people who made it and became rich and famous, they wanted to create something that meant something to them, that was a purpose for them, that
or
did it.
a purpose for the people around them. They wanted to, you know, improve the world around them.
Right, you know, and then fame and fortune was just this added bonus after the fact, you know. 'Cause that's tough to achieve, but if that's your goal, if that's what you're looking for, you're almost never going to achieve it.
Yeah, the What Fuels You segment this week definitely makes me think a lot about doctors and the work that they endlessly put in.
Yeah.
Hours, like 80 hours a week, and just amazing amounts of work with no sleep. Thank God they have Death Wish Coffee. But they wouldn't be able to do that if they had no meaning. And I can't imagine the amount of accomplishment they feel when they're healing somebody.
Yeah.
And how that can motivate them to work those 80 hours week after week after week, because they're saving lives.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what that feels like? I can't even
fathom it.
I get great fulfillment out of doing what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, I'm just a coffee dude.
Yeah.
You know, I can't imagine how fulfilling it feels to actually make a positive change on somebody's life, like saving them.
Yeah.
Or even down to like charity work, or I think of Justin Wren, and he has Fight for the Forgotten something. He has a charity where he builds wells in the Congo for tribes that don't have any water, and he's like actually making a difference. Yeah. So it's like, it might not be in your 9 to 5 where you're actually doing that. That's why people do charity work. Yeah. Because they're seeing change, and the monotony's suddenly broken apart. Yeah. And you're able to actually enjoy life because you're making things happen. Yeah. You know, consider that. Look at it deeply. If you're not finding any happiness and you're not feeling like you're making any change, there's a lot of decisions that you can easily make to change that around, and charity is one of them. Yeah. And even locally, or you can go far-reaching on something like this.
The great thing about finding meaning and purpose is if you feel like that's not in your life, it's easier to find it than to just sit on your laurels and not find it. You know, like you said, like there are some, you know, easy questions you can ask, you know, yourself, and make some small changes to find something that, you know, makes you want to get up in the morning and makes you want to keep, you know, trying that new thing,
or just keeps you feeling
thing.
like a useless piece of shit, because that can happen real quick.
Yeah, for
sure. You got to be careful with that.
Yeah.
If you're feeling that, do something, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been there.
Me too.
I've been there 100
Me
times.
too.
and
Oh my God.
I probably could have used this advice when I was there.
Oh yeah, I definitely could have. In fact, I think that's one of the biggest things is when people are in that. Speaking from experience, when I was, at my lowest and like, oh, life is terrible and I just feel like a piece of shit and like there's no direction, no nothing. I also wasn't surrounding myself with anybody saying to me, it's easy to kind of dig yourself out of that.
Well,
Very smally.
I think when you're in those positions, it's not so obvious the reason why it's happening.
Correct.
You don't
'Cause
realize
you're in it.
You don't realize it's just the monotony of day in, day out will actually lead you to this feeling. And it's kind of hard to discern when you're in that situation.
Yeah.
Like, why do I feel like this? Why do I feel like shit? Well, because you're not making any movement in the world.
Yeah.
You're not making any changes. You're not
Or
helping
even
anybody.
just in your world,
Yeah.
making any movement in your world. You know what is a great resource for this? I've heard this from countless people, and I can also attest to this. A great thing to do that can give you a little bit of meaning, can give you a little bit of purpose, give you a little bit of perspective. Start a podcast. It's the easiest thing in the world to do nowadays. You could do it right from your phone, but just talking, can help you kind of change your mindset, And like I've heard that about a lot of people who start a podcast and like this is like therapy for a lot of people. I know it is for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know I've talked about this a lot, and it's a little bit off topic, but not too far off of that. Just looking at the beneficial side of making a podcast, so many people are surrounded by people they don't want to be surrounded by. And
Right.
It's hard to find a good conversation or intelligent conversation that's happening around you because it just doesn't exist. Well, podcasts bring that everywhere for everybody at any moment.
Yeah.
A great conversation is at your fingertips, on your phone, on your computer at any point, and you get caught up in awesome conversation with intelligent people right away. And all of a sudden, you're integrated into a better thought pattern.
Yeah.
And that may be something you may be producing when you do something a podcast,
Yeah.
when you do something like a podcast. And I like to hope that we're doing something here with this podcast where, maybe we are touching lonely people and they are feeling like they are in our conversation with us.
That's what I definitely hope that. I definitely hope that every week.
Because you are. We're talking to
Yeah.
you, man.
I'm
I'm not talking to Jeff. Fuck this bozo.
I do hope that every week on the show, also on the podcast when we talk to a guest every week, I really do hope that, we include the listenership at large because that's why I like to listen to podcasts.
That's why I like to make podcasts.
Yeah, I know one of your favorites and one that you got me hooked on, Joe Rogan. I like listening to that because it's a conversation between Joe and his guest, yet every time I listen to it, I feel like I'm literally sitting there with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And I catch myself sometimes yelling at my car stereo when
Yeah,
I'm
I do
listening
that
to
every
it
now
too.
and then
Like,
when he's like, "What's that thing it said?" I'm like, "It's a Frank! It's a Frank! Jesus, why can't you hear me?"
I love it. So I mean, you can change.
There's
the
ways
game
to
and,
easily improve your life and give yourself meaning.
Yeah.
and
and when you find that meaning, hold on to it.
yeah, dig
it
deep.
It makes life better. It really does.
Community shout out.
All right, so this week's community shout out, I went down a rabbit hole on this frickin' Instagram. Holy moly. So, shouting out, I'm not even going to shout it out. I'm not going to do it.
I like how you went to
I
wind
went
up
to.
to shout it out, and then as you were breathing in, you changed your mind.
On Instagram, you can go on over and follow him. It is at Printed Adventures, and she puts her name as just Laura on Instagram. And this is why I found them and shouted out Laura, obviously, because of some incredible posts with our mugs.
Oh, the harvester.
Yeah, there's the harvester there with some books. Laura is a dog lover, a coffee lover, obviously. She's an avid reader, and she's a Ravenclaw. Shout out to Ravenclaws for Harry Potter. But she
Slytherin for life.
Yeah, I know. But she also does Bookstagram, which I didn't even know was a thing. But if you go to her site, it's the most awesome pictures of books. Here's another photo, actually, another little mug life photo of her enjoying some reading and some coffee, which is
I
great.
see a familiar mug. Share this episode, say to let us know you shared, and you could win that mug.
Yeah,
number
for
700
sure.
to be exact.
But here's some of her Bookstagram posts, and like her whole feed is this. I literally was like 15 minutes just scrolling through, going, "That's cool." That's
I
cool.
like that pun you made. Literally?
Literally.
Ah.
Here's one, obviously. A little bit of Harry Potter and Ravenclaw in there. But that one, love that. That's a really cool stage.
I feel like I
photo of
can
books.
smell the books.
I know, right? This one, that one just makes me want to pick up one of those books and read it. It's like they're all mysterious, and I've actually read a couple of those books, but some of them I haven't. I would.
Unfortunately, I've read Mockingjay.
Yeah, it's not unfortunately. I mean, reading a book is a good thing. Like,
Oh, he's got a Carl Sagan book up on there.
yeah.
That's good.
And then this one, that's just
good.
a like.
Fun.
How long did that take to make? Like, it would take me an hour to set up a shot like that and like try to get it right. But that looks really, really fun. But I just had a lot of fun looking at that. And again, that's what makes these community shout outs so much fun, is people enjoying the brand, enjoying the product, and having it fuel what they love to do. And in this case, it's books and taking pictures of books.
I love it, man. I
which
love
is
it. I
super
love
rad.
looking for these shout outs every week because
Yeah.
you really find some interesting people doing some interesting things that just happen to be drinking Death Wish coffee. And it's a lot of fun.
It's a community shout out at Printed Adventures on Instagram, Laura. So this week, like every week, we got some birthdays to shout out. Got some really good ones. Starting out Thursday, March 29th, actor Scott Wilson is going to be 76 years old. Scott Wilson is known for a lot in his career, but recently best known as playing Herschel on The Walking Dead on AMC.
And Jeff and I had the privilege of riding back in our, what was it? It wasn't an Uber. It was a...
Yeah, I don't know, like an SUV.
Yeah,
basically.
it was a celebrity shuttle.
Yeah.
We were in the back of the car with this guy.
What a sweetheart.
What a nice guy. What a...
I
Dude,
hope-
there's rarely this cool of people hanging out. And he looks like the kindest man in the world, and he
is.
He is.
I
Come
hope
to
to
find
get
out.
him on the podcast sometime. He has incredible stories, and he's like such a nice guy. This is him with our good friend Dave Solo at a Walker Stalker event where they do the live show all the time. So gracious, so great. If you ever get to go out to a Walker Stalker, he's at a lot of them, and you'll get to meet him.
Yeah, totally approachable. Go up, say hey, give him a high five.
Yeah.
Let him know we
let
love
them know
him.
we sent you. On Friday, March 30th, the iconic Eric Clapton is going to be 73 years old. Eric Clapton is a literal guitar god.
Yeah.
I don't care if you think I'm wrong, because I'm not.
I mean, didn't he pretty much invent distortion?
He
in
pretty
the
much
band Cream.
He pretty much invented a lot. Cream was untouchable, and I'll tell you a little story. It's out there if you've never heard this.
Drinking cream soda, by the way.
Cream was the band in Britain at the time where everybody was like, "Oh my God, these guys are absolute gods. These guys are like, it's like seeing a magic trick happen in front of you," because they were that
Can you imagine what that was like?
good. Exactly. They were unapproachable. Even some press outlets felt like Rolling Stone felt scared to contact Cream because they were so iconic in their heyday. And along comes a 19-year-old kid. Along comes a 19-year-old kid, and he literally goes to a Cream show, and says, "I want to get on stage and jam with Eric Clapton." Nobody has the balls to do that. Nobody
I know who you're talking about.
says that.
Can I guess before you go?
Sure.
Hendrix?
Of course. And there it is. There's Hendrix with Clapton right after that show. Hendrix got on stage.
Is that Clapton?
Yeah.
Jesus.
He played Killing Floor live, and now with the band. And
I wanna
everybody
be there. I
Yeah.
want to be sitting in
why that's
between those guys. Is it your laptop dinging?
No, I don't think so. Maybe. I don't think I have sound on my laptop.
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, whatever.
Jeff is dinging.
Dinging. I think it's just like, Hendrix knows we're talking about him.
Yeah, he's trying to communicate with us.
But so he gets on stage with Clapton and plays Killing Floor, and then the story goes that the whole place erupted. Hendrix was young and hungry at this point, so he's playing between his legs, behind his back, with his teeth. He's doing all of his tricks and everything, and he gets off stage to a standing ovation, and Clapton, like, the band, like, breaks, and Clapton goes off stage to, like, switch guitars, and he's fumbling with a cigarette. And one of his bandmates comes up to him, and Clapton just looks at him. And this is the Rolling Stone story, is that Clapton looks at him and goes, is he really that fucking good? Like, just wide-eyed, because Hendrix was incredible. And Hendrix studied Clapton. Like, cited Clapton as, like, what got him to the point where he was.
I mean, I think we're seeing, well, hopefully, we see just musicians get more and more talented because a phrase I like to use a lot is standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yes.
Because we don't even know what's humanly possible until somebody does it. Then we aim to do what they do, but better.
Right.
And that's what Hendrix was doing to Clapton.
Totally.
He was looking at what Clapton was doing, learning that, and bringing it one step further.
Totally. So happy birthday to him on Friday. On Saturday, March 31st, another icon, but this time from the acting world, Christopher Walken. He's going to be 75 years old. Incredible, like...
Do you have a favorite walking movie or
I
appearance?
do. I was going to say, like, everybody, tag your own favorite walking movie or appearance, maybe the cowbell from Saturday Night Live. But hands down, the one that still terrifies me, and it's not the greatest movie in the world, but the one that still terrifies me, Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, good one.
Sleepy Hollow.
I never because his face just perfectly fit into that monster. It was scary. Whenever I see him, I just think of that.
I don't even think, I have no idea why that's still happening. All of it's off. I just don't get it.
I think it's coming out of the TV.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Is that possible?
I guess. I don't know.
You keep on
It's
talking.
still-
Wait, my favorite? Pulp Fiction.
Ding.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was great in that. He was great in, I think I've never seen a movie that he hasn't been great in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible how this guy, just the amount of gravitas he has when he shows up on set is iconic.
I can't imagine what it's like working with him.
Yeah.
It must be awesome or
Yeah.
just terrifying. Terrifying.
Ding. What a happy birthday to him. Finally, not finally, but next up we have a trio in the next couple of days of some Marvel alumni, starting Monday, April 2nd with Clark Gregg. Clark's going to be 56 years old, and you probably know him as Agent Coulson from Iron Man, from Thor, from the Avengers, and also Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I love Clark Gregg.
I won't lie, I don't care about him, but I want his coat.
Yeah.
That's a dope-ass coat.
It
Just
is.
saying.
You have to be an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to have that.
Really?
Yeah.
How? I mean,
you
I can jump pretty high.
Yeah, you can jump pretty high. Here's a picture of Clark with Thor from the Avengers movie.
I mean, he pretty much, when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. came out, he was like the keystone.
He was
to
the
that.
keystone of Avengers. He was the glue.
But
that,
I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I didn't watch too much of it. But
I still watch it. I love
it seemed like it was based off of his character's humor.
it.
Which
Yeah,
is
a
like
little bit.
really like goofing around
Yep.
with the superheroes.
Oh,
kinda
totally,
thing.
totally. He's a great actor. But on that same Marvel vein, also another Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. on Tuesday, April 3rd, the very lovely Kobe Smulders is going to be 36 years old.
What's she do?
She is Agent Maria Hill
Oh.
in the Marvel Universe, but she's also known for one of my favorite TV shows, How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's that one. Yeah,
she
yeah.
was
okay.
Robin on that show.
Yeah, she's good on that.
Yeah, she's done a lot of stuff. Really, really enjoy her. Turning 36 on Tuesday, April 3rd. Also turning 36 on Tuesday, April 3rd, and she's going to kill me for this, but is my wife. That's my wife, Trisha. So happy birthday to her. She's probably not going to see this.
Sorry, ladies.
Probably not going to see this. Maybe she will. I don't know.
That's
had
a
to
good picture of her. Where is that?
That is at the Bachelor Mansion in Saratoga Springs,
Where's the Bachelor Mansion?
near the track.
Okay, I guess. That's a fancy picture.
Yeah. And then to round out all of our Marvel stuff, on Wednesday, April 4th, Robert Downey Jr. is going to be 53 years old. We actually just got a package from Stark Industries today into Death Wish
No,
Coffee.
we didn't.
Yes, we did. It said it right on the box. But Robert Downey has been in so much stuff, all the way back to, the late 80s, early 90s. One of his most iconic roles was that of Charlie Chaplin in Chaplin.
Weird.
He got an Oscar nomination for that. And what's incredible about Robert Downey is that he got into some trouble with the law.
I feel like that took off his career. Like
What did? Getting
getting in trouble with the law.
Well, It definitely blacklisted him from Hollywood for a while. He didn't have any
Yeah,
work.
but he came back with a mega bang.
Thankfully for Iron Man, for sure. They took a chance on him with
Yeah.
Iron Man, and that was where he is now.
God, he's
there is no
perfect.
Tony Stark without
Yeah,
Robert Downey Jr.
He's perfect for. You could never change that, right?
Yeah, never
Everybody would
change
get
that.
pissed off.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
would get pissed off.
Yeah, me too. Finally, the same day, Wednesday, April 4th, a very happy birthday to magician David Blaine, who's going to be 45 years old. He's going on tour again this year, bringing his magic to the masses. Absolutely incredible. We actually got to go out to Boston last year and see David perform up close and personal, and it's incredible. I've seen all of his stuff online, but to see him
I don't know how he
in
goes on tour,
person-
man. He pokes a lot of holes in himself.
I know.
Oh, you got that picture? Nice.
Yeah, it was so great to meet him and talk with him for a minute, and then he did his live stage show for all of us.
What, he
and
hurt
it was,
your arm? What are
Yeah,
you
I
doing?
always look like I'm just running into the shot. It's just like it's the worst.
Ah!
Yeah. Wait, he did this magic trick where he took my arm off and he just reattached it right before the photo was taken. Yeah, I'm the worst. I'm the absolute worst when it comes to taking photos. But a happy birthday.
Well, what's weird is we all look younger in that. It was only like, what was that?
Not even a year ago.
We all look young in that.
I don't know. It's magic trick. It's David Blaine's magic right there, making us look younger.
Jeez.
All right, I'm ready to roast something.
Sounds good to me.
I smell a roast.
Okay, so this week on the roast, it's something actually that I just caught wind of from you, D-Man, but they've been around for a very long time, and I just don't get it. It is this thing called ultra marathons. This craze is cropping up everywhere. In fact, there are huge races in Africa, in Asia, in New Zealand, also in Asia, but in China, big ones in the desert in China and stuff like that. Absolutely nuts. And basically what an ultra marathon is, it is a race that is longer than a traditional marathon, and a traditional marathon is 26.2 miles. So anything over that is considered an ultra marathon. But this gets nuts. This gets nuts because some of these are just like absolutely absurd.
I think it goes back to a little bit of what I was talking before about standing on the shoulders of giants. See, now people have pushed like the human limit to new levels here.
I guess.
Like, we were not running 100 miles and recording it before this. You know what I mean? And it's
Why do we need to?
because we need to test our limits, Jeff. We need to know what the human body can do at the risk of our own health.
I don't know. So there's this one that
See that? I actually convinced him.
I don't know.
I saw convincement in his eyes.
There's this one I'd never heard of, and I don't think you've heard of it either, but there's a documentary on Netflix about it. It's called The Barkley Marathons. It's called The Race That Eats Its Young. This is the documentary on Netflix from 2014. Since its beginning over 25 years ago,
The trail that
hundreds.
eats its young?
I wrote that wrong. It's
Oh,
the
okay.
race that
Okay.
eats its young. But since its beginning, over 25 years ago, only 14 people have completed this. This is a 160 kilometer or 100-mile race, and you have to complete it in 60 hours. There are 5 loops in total. The race starts in the old-fashioned way, where the guy who starts the race lights a cigarette, and that means everybody goes. And they don't even, no one knows when this race begins. You have to follow this. You have to be a runner. You have to follow the community of people who know about this race. And they only announce it hours before the race starts.
Oh, wow.
And it happens in the backwoods of Tennessee.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's tons of different elevation inclines and declines. And again, like I said, 100 miles in 60 hours or under. And only 14 people have completed it. Since 1997, runners have been competing in the Self-Transcendence 3,100-mile race.
That's crazy.
This is what's
It's
even
obviously not all at once.
This is what's even crazier. It's this block in New York City. That's it. They run 100 laps a day for 50 days.
Oh, my
On
God.
a single block in Queens.
Oh, my God.
For a distance of 3,100 miles or 5,000 kilometers. What the fuck,
You
people.
think you would get so bored. Talk about monotony.
God.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine the amount of food that's consumed by these runners just to keep up on calorie counts? It must be insane.
It's gotta be insane. So, and then...
the amount of busted toenails.
Ugh.
God.
So this is where I heard about this from. Dustin was telling me about this woman who I actually want to get on this podcast and talk to her because she seems like an insane person, but she's also very fit, very athletic. Courtney DeWalter, sorry. She won the MOAB, the Moab 240 last year. That's 240 miles. She was 32 years old when she won it, and she won it by 10 hours on to the next person.
And also by a marathon's length.
By over 26 miles. Yeah.
For the next person, and she completed it in 56 hours.
50, yeah.
You were talking about a
100
100-mile race that people have to complete in 60 hours. She completed 240 miles in 56 hours.
She went blind.
Not on this race.
Oh, this wasn't this race?
No, it was a different race. It was I think it was a 75 or 90 mile. It was a 90-mile race, and around mile 70, she got. I can't remember the name of what it was, but either way, she temporarily went blind with 30 miles left to go in this race. And mind you, these are not like, racing tracks. These are rocky, horrible terrain areas. And actually, if you look it up, there's a picture of her winning this race with her head gashed open and bleeding all over the place because she couldn't see. She was tripping all over the place, and she gave herself a concussion falling, and she still won that race. She won that race blind.
Oh my God! So this is why I'm roasting this. I understand the idea.
Corneal edema.
That's it. I understand the idea of being very physically fit. I understand the idea of even being addicted to being physically fit and running. I'm not a runner. I only run from cops and monsters. That's it. But I mean, I know a lot of people will enjoy running, enjoy doing marathons every year, trying to better their time, trying to, get faster, be able to do more. I get that. But to do a race that's 100 miles long, 200 miles long, 240 miles long, in the worst conditions like the desert,
like
or
Death
mountains,
Valley,
or I just think that is insanity. I don't understand it. Can you make me understand this? I don't understand.
Well, that's what it is, man. It's just pushing the limits. What is a human capable of?
So
what can we actually do?
So you're saying that it's the same thing that's in the climber who goes, I want to climb Everest.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing as a scientist building a satellite going, how far can the satellite go? Can we find another planet? It's the same thing in our DNA that pushes us to make new boundaries for the human race so we can accomplish better things. Yes, it's just running, but it's pushing that limit. It's pushing our physical limit to see what we're actually capable of. And other people are able to look at that and go, wow, if they can do that, I can do this. I can get through this. If I know that the human body is capable of doing that, I can figure out a way to get my thing done.
Wow. Well, I mean, more power to you. I just think it's absolutely insanity to do
By
that
the way,
many miles.
this is that picture I was talking about. I'm sure you
Goodness,
can,
yeah,
can
I'll put up that picture of her with the gash in her head, but holy moly.
She's insane. And by the way, with the interview that I listened to her, it's like, what do you do? What are you eating? What are your supplements? How do you sleep? I drink beer and eat nachos was her answer. You know how she does it? She doesn't give a fuck.
I guess. This was the other thing that was said, which is nuts. So she completed the 240 miles in 57 hours. She slept twice. Once for a little under 20 minutes and another for about 2 minutes, which is nuts because she won in over 10 hours.
Yeah, she could have
gotten way more sleep than that.
Full
night's
of sleep. But she didn't care about that. She only cares about pushing what's possible.
God. I mean, again, more power to you. I think you're crazy. But
I mean, we even do it with the show. What is possible with the show? How do we get there?
Right.
How hard do we have to push ourselves to get there?
I'm not running. I'm not gonna run.
Hey,
Like said,
I bet if we-
cops, monsters.
I bet if
two
we
things.
threw you in a 240-mile race, we'd get a lot more viewers.
Holy crap! Yeah, until I died from it, I would die from that.
But we'd have a lot of viewers watching you die.
All right, tune in next week. Oh man, let's get to the update.
All right.
D-Man's Death Wish Update. Brought to you by Death Wish Coffee.
Okay, D-Man, I heard something's coming back.
Me. I'm coming back.
You're bringing sexy back too, right?
I'm bringing it all over the place.
All right.
It's in the suitcase that I brought here. It's in my car.
End of update.
It's sexy all over the place.
You guys have been updated.
It's really gross. It stinks, but it's here. Tomorrow,
yes.
we tried out this add-on app, but now you'll see it again. You'll be prompted to add on the socks.
Yes.
Which is really cool. So you'll be able to add this to your cart. Just go on, buy a few things, and it'll be like, hey, you want to add some socks? And you'll be like, hell yeah, those are some cool socks.
Yeah. So full disclosure, we did these socks in a bundle with a duffel bag. It came with a blanket, socks. What else? I think a beanie, all sorts of fun stuff. And you got the duffel bag too. And like we've told you before with the mugs, we go through meticulously with our inventory and really, just clean it up, make sure all our warehouses are working together. And we found that there was a bunch of extra socks. Not a ton, though.
All clean.
Yeah, all clean. Yeah, we haven't tried these on. But there's not a ton, but there was a few hundred. Like, I don't even know that. Do you know the number?
Yeah.
Or should we not say the number?
I'm not going to say it.
All right. It's less than 1,000 people. So if you want to add these on, make sure tomorrow on Thursday, go on the website, make any purchase, and then you'll get a little add-on prompt being like, would you like to add socks? And you say yes to that. And you'll be able to get some
I
socks.
love these socks.
I do too. It literally gets sad because I have 2 pairs of the original socks we did. Well, my wife has one and I have one, but I have 2 pairs of those and then I have one of these. So like 3 days out of the week in the winter, I'm like, yes. And then the other 2 days, I'm like, oh, I got to wear regular socks to work. I love these socks so much.
Actually, I use them for deadlifting.
Oh, I've seen the pictures.
So with deadlifting, you tend to scrape your shins with the bar because you're trying to keep the bar as close to you as possible. And you inevitably get nicked every now and then. But if you have nice, thick socks that ride high, it actually saves your shins from scraping up. Same thing with skateboarders, actually.
Yeah.
That's why they wear the high socks because they're doing cool tricks on their skateboard. And, inevitably you're going to mess something up and you're going to scrape up your shin. But, if you have highly protective Death Wish socks, you'll be all safe from that.
So, I without even saying it, guys, we're going to start them as an add-on tomorrow on Thursday. They won't last through the weekend. So if you want them, get them for sure. And this is as good a time as any to talk about our subscription platform. If you guys are not subscribers, it's never been easier to subscribe to Death Wish Coffee. You go on over to our website, and you can look up on any of our different coffee options the subscription option, and it'll walk you through all the steps. You can choose how much you want to get, when you want to get it, whether it's every week, every 2 weeks, every month, every couple months. You can cancel at any time and then come back and do the subscription because we know sometimes, like money gets tight or you just have too much coffee waiting for you.
I'll tell you what, we're always finding more ways to make exclusive products for the subscribers or exclusive opportunities for the subscribers. We really appreciate the subscribers and we want to treat them as good as possible. And let me tell you, Jeff and I recently sat down with a special someone.
Super secret, but there's going to be some incredible subscriber only shit coming out.
Yeah, we were thinking it might have something to do with
blah, 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 blah.
You want to say it?
Blah, 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 blah. Don't say it. But the ink isn't dry on the contracts yet, so we don't have that yet. But the thing is that we've got so many cool things already in the works for subscribers. You guys like our mugs. If you're a subscriber, you get access to the mug a day early. And we keep telling you every time we release a mug since we started this, more and more are leaving before we ever released them because of that early day.
I mean, I'll tell you what, with that Valentine's Day mug, it was almost completely wiped out by the subscribers. So,
Yeah.
If
there's going to be a mug release, maybe one of the lower run mug releases that we do.
And that's the thing that I was going to say is if we have any like specialty runs, something like we do for like the Run Dead
or
mug,
something like that.
and if we leave those to the subscribers first, you're not going to get a crack at it unless you're a subscriber. So
that's awesome. And on
Get
top
on it.
of that, when you get your subscription, whether it's every week, every month, however you want to set it up, you'll get all the freebies that we've released since your last subscription. That's how it works, people.
That was hard to do, by the way.
Yeah.
But we worked day and night to get that set up so you guys could get some awesome we didn't want to leave you out of anything. Like I said, we love our subscribers and we only want more, and we know the only way to do that is make it awesome for you guys.
Yeah.
And we are, and we're going to make it better and better and better, so subscribe now.
Yes. Yeah, so there's no reason not to be a subscriber. Finally, I just want to bring up, like we've been bringing up the last couple weeks, you guys are probably watching us on Facebook Live right now. Come back on Friday. Every single Friday, we're going to do a Facebook Live that is going to give you our recent contests that we're doing to either to win free coffee for a month or maybe some cool products with some other companies. And we also announce the winners every week from the previous contests. Our very own Sierra gets on there and we'll shout your name out specifically right on Facebook Live, and we're going to do that every Friday. So make sure you tune in, guys, to do that. Set your
I was told there's no promises of any wiggle dances from here on out.
I heard that. But
you guys got to earn the wiggle dance,
We'll make that happen. We'll make that happen. And as always, guys, tune in next week for some more exciting news from the Death Wish Coffee Company.
And that's the show, everybody.
That is the show, everybody.
That's what I said, Jeff.
That is what I said, Jeff. We're in a loop. Are we in a loop? We're not in a loop.
We're not in a loop.
We're not in a loop.
Not at all. Not in a loop.
One last time, guys. Share this feed. Comment, share. You could literally win this mug I'm holding in my hand. It is number 700, and it is our joint St. Patrick's Day mug with the Dropkick Murphys. You can't find them anywhere except for right here. And we'll pick one lucky winner. We're going to sign the bottom and send it right out to you. Thank you guys so much for watching the show, sharing the show, commenting on the show. Every single week, this show gets, I feel, better and better, and it definitely is growing with the help of you guys.
I like seeing all the returning viewers, which is great. Thank you guys so much for coming back over and over again. We see you hanging out, and we really appreciate you being there. So thanks for enjoying the show, guys.
Yeah, we got some good shows coming up in the month of April, and we'll tell you all about those coming up. As always, give us a follow over on social media. Let us know what you think of the show. Just follow us for the hell of it. We try to make our social media pretty fun. I am very easy to follow. I'm at Jeff Wish Coffee.
And I am at Death Wish Dustin.
It's that easy. And we'll be back next week, guys, with another brand new show for you. Cheers.
Bye.
This has been Fueled by Deathcast, a Death Wish Coffee Company podcast production. Thanks for listening.